Hey guys, what is going on? So I wanted to give an update on my cut. If you guys recall, I made an attempt to be on a cut before, and then I had a couple injuries. I ended up getting off testosterone and all that good stuff. And so I basically haven't had a body scan for 2 months. Now, if you recall, I actually did try and do a body scan last month. I couldn't get an accurate read for some reason, but I did one this morning. I was able to get an accurate measurement. So a 2-month lapse in body scans. So unfortunately, there is some data that is lost in between that. But basically, the last time I got a body scan here was January 31st. And that was probably the most muscular I had ever been in my life. In fact, it for sure was. And it's possible that I got a little bit higher than that in terms of muscle, but probably not. But I did get a little higher in weight because as I was like bulking a little bit more, I added probably a few pounds from that number. But then as injuries hit, I stopped training. I definitely am holding on to less water considering I'm not drinking as much water, not as much sodium intake. I'm not on creatine at all, obviously. And my carbs are down just because I'm trying to limit my calories here as I'm not very mobile. But the good news is that my hip feels tremendously better to the point where I can probably start walking again and ramping that up and slowly transitioning into legit cardio, which is still a ways away. I'm probably not going to start doing legit cardio for a while. And then eventually I'll probably start playing basketball. But that is, again, probably a ways away. So I'm going to pop this up here. This is my last scan, or my scan today versus my last scan, which was January 31st. So about 2 months apart here. So my body fat percentage is up 1.4%, even though I have been trying to actually limit my calories. Now, again, like I said, I haven't been training, and I actually probably added a little bit more fat from this January 31st scan. So it's hard to say, but basically my body fat percentage is up, and my fat mass is actually up a little bit just due to obviously being a little immobilized, and I'm potentially losing some of that weight that I put on since that January 31st scan. My lean mass is down significantly. I will get into specifically where that happened, but obviously, like I said, water retention is not really there. I'm not drinking as much water, sodium, carbs, creatine, like all that is out of my system. Plus I am off testosterone. I don't know how much of an effect that would have, but I haven't been training, so it would be reasonable to expect that I would lose some muscle after not training. So all of those factored in is probably where that lean mass loss is from. And then my weight, so my peak weight was probably somewhere in February, probably like 237-ish. So I got pretty close to 240 there, which is my highest all-time weight is 242, but that was like the fattest I'd ever been. So current weight, 227.6. And if we look at these other numbers here, my shoulders are down, and shoulders were the area that I saw the most improvement when I was on testosterone. So the fact that those are down an inch just leads me to believe, obviously I did have a shoulder injury as well, as you guys may remember. So that could probably be a factor. Obviously I have not been training shoulders ever since I got that. So that would make sense. My arms are pretty much unchanged. My chest is down 0.6, which, kind of indicates my lack of being able to bench press with the shoulder injury, not being able to get in as much volume. My waist is up due to just, adding fat. If we look at the next one here, stomach, hip. And the interesting thing here, so obviously I've been pretty immobile. I haven't really been walking at all unless I'm like at work. And I'm just like hobbling around at work. But left upper thigh, right down pretty much like a full inch there. So my legs, obviously, I hold a decent amount of muscle and fat in my legs. And so the fact that I haven't been walking as much, it would make sense that I could lose temporarily a decent amount of muscle in those legs. So, my theory is obviously not being able to bench press, not being able to work shoulders. I, was losing some muscle in those areas. It makes sense that I would lose some muscle in my legs, especially when you consider I had a back injury. So obviously all these injuries taking their toll. And, I wasn't able to do legs to the same extent after I did the back injury. And then now I have the hip thing. So, and then this final one here, just kind of showing my calves are down a little bit as well. I'm not somebody with super small calves, but also not super big calves. So those are the scan numbers. As of today, I do plan, so I'm going to be working today. I'm going to be walking around. I don't know if I'm going to be working tomorrow, but starting next week, I'm probably going to start going for walks again. They're probably going to be pretty short, and I'm just going to slowly ramp that up. Now, the thing is, my calories are quite low right now, just because, again, my activity is pretty much minimal at this time. I'm pretty much just entirely sedentary. So I do actually plan to up my calories as I'm able to walk more, burn some more calories and stuff like that. And then once I get to the point where I'm taking longer walks, then I might up my calories just a tiny bit. And then from that level, I'll start work on cutting the calories, because I think I can actually lose some fat while adding calories, considering I'll be getting, actual exercise in, and I'll actually be burning calories. And then again, I will slowly transition into increasing the lengths of my walks. And then I will probably start doing, actual cardio at the gym, probably like an elliptical, low impact. And then at that point, I would think my hip should be 100%. I plan to play some basketball here eventually. Obviously, it's going to get a lot nicer over the coming months. And then I should be able to burn quite a bit of fat and really just kind of up my cardio towards the end there. So my goal is to not really shoot my calories low this time. That's something that I tend to do. And then obviously, as I get back into the gym, and start working out again, my shoulder feels as close to 100%, if not 100%. My hip feels quite good, but definitely not 100%. So I should be able to get back in the gym, do some leg stuff, maybe not any hip dominant stuff for the time being. So I'll get back into that. And then obviously I'll be upping my carbs, my water, my sodium, all that stuff. So I should gain a little bit of that water weight back. Obviously creatine, I'm looking to get back onto that at some point. So I should see my strength numbers and everything like that, kind of go up. I am going to be a little bit more focused on strength training as opposed to bodybuilding. I feel like if I'm not going to be on testosterone, I'm not going to focus on bodybuilding. And then as my strength numbers go up, hopefully I can hit some PRs. And then eventually, whenever Derek releases testosterone again, I'll probably buy another bottle or two, do one more round of that, and then do like one final kind of like peak where I focus on my strength and my, I think I could probably, in terms of bench press, I could probably hit, if I peak right now, even, off testosterone and everything like that, probably can hit like 375, 385 is my guess on bench. I don't know. That's just a guess. But my goal, if after another, round of testosterone, hopefully I will be able to do 4 plates. That is my, that's been like a lifetime goal of mine. So if I can hit 4 plates, I'll be really happy. That's probably the main thing that I'm focused on. Overhead press would be cool to increase as well. I obviously don't expect to increase my squat to any significant degree. And I hate deadlifts, so I'm not going to do those. So, hopefully get those strength numbers up. And then with that next round of testosterone, hopefully I can even get a higher lean body mass than I got before here, which was 196, which is obviously an all-time high. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that. I'll keep you updated, and I'll talk to you soon.